Welcome back to another exciting episode of Game Week 39. My name is Karichorosho Matiz. I'm your host, and as usual, I'm never alone. I'm with Mario. We're back, Mario, on screen. We have our fans here. We'd missed them for some time. Welcome back.
What's happening, Game Week 39 world? We are back with another one. You know what it is. You're never riding solo, my guy.
You know what it is.
The Robin to my Batman. You know what it is. But then Game Week 39, we took a couple of weeks off. My man was in Limpopo.
Yeah, man.
Came back a bit chubby.
You
calling
reckon?
me chubby, but it's okay. It's okay. It's
Home
okay.
is good. Home is good.
No,
refreshing.
Anything to distract from Chelsea beating Liverpool. I understand.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're excited.
Let's get into the football.
Let's get into it. And speaking of headlines, as you said, Man City, Chelsea, Aston Villa, they take all 3 points. While your rivals, Arsenal, Nottingham and Newcastle, they drop points. Where do you think you guys are going to finish?
I can only be rivals with the team that wins things. I can only be rivals with the
City wins. Okay, well, City took points, but I mentioned Newcastle and
my
Arsenal.
rivals, Arsenal. I mean, I can only be rivals with the team that has won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Or at least some form of European competition.
Okay, and they play tonight. They play tonight. What do you think is going to happen?
Yes, good luck. But then I fear that they might go through. I fear it. I hope the bell is firing on all cylinders.
I also have a feeling that Arsenal could go through.
I have a terrible
but
feeling.
I don't think they're going to win.
It might be
because
a nightmare.
that Inter Milan side
entice weak. You saw the 37-year-old Barca is just defense-wise, midfield-wise. It's got kids.
They have goals, though. They're always responding.
The best attacking team in Europe right now. On the bench, Olmo, and then you've got Ansu Fati, who can't even get onto the bench. You've got Lewandowski, who didn't even start the game.
He came on later.
90th minute. Yeah, you've got Pau Victor. You've got a couple of young, exciting. Firmine, you've got Torres.
But all of those guys, they got knocked out by Inter Milan.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about Inter Milan possibly facing Arsenal. Who do you think is going to win?
Inter versus Arsenal.
Yeah.
I would favor Arsenal, to be honest with you.
So you think if they go through PSG today, they're likely going to win the Champions League?
Because I think if they go through PSG, Arsenal, I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Arsenal might win
Champions League.
And
they're going to be your rivals.
Oh my God. If they are football goals, can this not happen, my guy?
Anyway, we shall see tonight. I look forward to that game. I feel like last night's game was quite a thriller, just like the first leg was.
First leg was game of the season when it happened.
Second leg
is the game of the season.
And now we're having a chat with Tsiamo earlier to say that I hope the final doesn't disappoint. I mean, how do you have a semi-final like that with 2 legs being a thriller?
That should have been.
The commentator was saying that previous game that he commentated on was one of the best that he's ever commentated in the many years that he's been a commentator in the Premier League. In the Champions League.
One of the best ever in the Champions League. Without a shadow of doubt, the game of the season.
I would agree. Literally everything you want in football.
Literally everything.
Goals, drama.
I mean, Barca go down, they come back. And then this one, same thing. They go down again. They come back. They take the lead. They go behind. And then Inter finishes it.
Unlucky to the Barca fans. I've been seeing most of you guys licking your wounds there. But I think it was a good fight. At some point, I honestly thought Barca was going to win. Because they just have the spirit.
When they scored the second goal, I was convinced. But I mean, there was a lot of bias in PSG's favor. Referees being referred to VAR for things that were not clear and obvious errors. Like the penalty awarded in favor of Yamal, I feel like that should have stood. Yeah. Because for you and I, we could objectively argue where the foul started, where was the foul that actually brought him down. Yep. You see, which contact is the one that was the final nail. And he was well inside the box when he fell, well inside the box. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
But lastly, before we move on from Champions League, the format had changed this season. What were your thoughts on how the format was and the new format and now where we are?
I mean, I don't see
didn't really have much of an impact. Do you think it was good in terms of getting multiple teams to play each other and not just,
what was it? 8 games.
8 games.
They played 8 games, and then the highest one then there's a knockout to qualify. I guess that aspect has like a redeeming aspect to it, where if you do poorly in the group, but that would never happen in normal Champions League because you usually put it with very weak opposition in the group stages. And if there is an underdog story, then there's no way that there's a knockout stage that underdog story could be undermined, which takes the underdog story element out of it. But then also, one game for your life does put the underdog story back into it.
Yeah.
In a sense, I think it's okay. I prefer when it gets to knockout stages, it feels like normal champions.
Normal, yes.
So I guess as long as that is still there,
everything is fine. All right. We'll talk a lot about that, as you say.
We'll probably speak the whole night.
You know, and again, we will be finishing in that top 4 position for next season. I think it's a big one. There's so many contenders in the Premier League.
Top 5 now.
Top 5, Manchester United possibly if they win the Europa. They're also going in.
Yeah, then
it's crazy.
Six Premier League teams.
Have we ever had anything like that? I think in the existence of the Premier League. It's insane. So, yeah, man, a lot of that. But let's get into the English Premier League with 3 more games to go. We're just going to break down Game Week 35, Mario. Let's start with Manchester City versus Wolves. It was a 1-0 win. You had KDB there. He scored you some good points, 11 points. I'd like to actually hear more about how you scouted KDB. Because when I checked your team and probably also looking at now, he's one of the most transferred in players. I see they play Southampton. This makes sense, but prior to that, against Wolves, what was your thinking around KDB?
I'll be honest with you, I brought in KDB maybe 3 weeks back.
Oh, okay, it was not necessarily for the Wolves game.
It was not necessarily for the Wolves game. I saw Man City had the best last 4 or 5 fixtures, and they were starting to pick up form. So I figured, and I saw De Bruyne had a good performance, so he scored a goal and had an assist. Kevin De Bruyne game, and I was like, it's his last season. Obviously, he's fit. He's probably gonna wanna play every game. Pep will probably play every game, and he's gonna try his best to go out on the highest high he possibly can. So that was probably the reasoning I brought him in. Because I liked Man City and their fixtures, so I wanted him and Marmoush, because Marmoush is not like as consistent as Haaland. So it's just unfortunate I forgot to change my captaincy, because I planned to captain him instead of Saka, because I didn't think Saka would start the game. I thought he would come off the bench, because obviously they play PSG tonight. But yeah, scored below average, but it happens, I guess.
Yeah, no, unlucky. A bit surprised on my side, but also happy from an FPL point of view. But I would have expected the likes of Cunha to at least sneak one in. I would have never predicted a 1-0 win, maybe a 2-1 or 3-1.
Yeah, I also thought like there would probably be goals in that game. I thought maybe as well, maybe like a 2-1 Man City. That's the way I was leaning. And that Wolves could probably surprise them, make 2-2.
Yes, exactly. With the form that they've been in.
With the form, because they had won 6 out of 6, if I was not mistaken.
Precisely.
So, yeah, didn't end all that well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what kind of fixtures Wolves have going forward.
I do know that Wolves, their next fixture is Brighton.
Brighton is a difficult game.
It is.
They're very stubborn in defense.
Yeah.
They've been like that since the time of Graham Potter. Then it seems like they just continue building on that no matter which manager comes.
And they held Newcastle. We're going to speak of that maybe.
It was a good result for us, of course.
Yes, hundreds.
So I don't know about jumping on Cunha right now for that Brighton game, because I can see it being like a 1-1 kind of situation.
Yeah. All right.
But Man City against Southampton, I mean, speaks for itself.
Hundreds.
We can get to that later.
All right, we'll really touch on Brighton. You spoke about how stubborn they are. Maybe let's talk about that Brighton 1, Newcastle 1. Isak, we know, I think I spoke about Isak to say that Isak, for me, just like Cunha, he is fixture proof. You know that he's likely going to sneak a goal or an assist, and he did that in this fixture.
He was more fixture proof, I would say, in the mid part of the season. Now, not as much. He does blank from time to time. So
he hasn't. So well, if we look at the past 5 games, he has only blanked once, and that was against Aston Villa where they lost 4-1. But the game before this, he returned 6 points, and then against Palace 6, against United 5, he blanked against Leicester.
5 might as well be a blank if we're looking at.
And he returned an 8 against Brentford.
And I say it like this because at the time he was doing that. Cunha was making sure. Watkins hit a nice patch of form for about 3 games or so. So at that time, like I took him out like recently. I think this is the first game I might.
You took out Isak.
Without him, yeah. I think this might have been the first game where I didn't have him in my team. But that's strictly based on strategy for the upcoming fixtures. And I'm hoping that they lose. So I wanna celebrate their losing without.
This is Newcastle.
Without feeling.
Are you careful not to associate your emotions to this because?
No, because I mean they play. You definitely you look at the next fixtures. Newcastle. They're not all that easy. They play Arsenal next. They play Chelsea.
Yeah.
And they play Arsenal, and then the last game of the season, I think they play Everton. And Everton is quite stubborn in defense as well. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best run of fixtures for him. But yeah, he did return. Obviously, great season for Isak. I think it probably might even be his best season ever. And yeah, I would hold on to him. It's still 3 games to go, but if I have a wild card like I do, probably not.
Okay. I want us to move on to Chelsea, the blue side of London. You guys, we spoke about this on the pod, and you sort of like predicted it, that you're hoping Liverpool are hanging
over,
and because they don't really have much to play for, and you guys do have much to play for, you have the hunger, and your boys do show up, and you get the points that you need because you desperately need these points given how tight it is to finish in the top 4. And I would have to say it turned out exactly as you'd hope for.
Other than Man City winning
yes,
that game,
besides Manchester City winning that game.
But and also Nottingham Forest coming back late to equalize in that game as well.
Yeah.
And getting that point. Other than those 2 results,
I think it's a bit greedy. If you look at me, I mean, to get Nottingham drop points, Newcastle drop points, Arsenal drop points,
and
you beat Liverpool
and Man City drop
points. And Man City. No, that's greed. That's greed.
Is it really?
So you sit 5th, Chelsea, 63 points, joint equal with Newcastle. You guys play each other next. But given. I don't want to talk a lot about the fixture against Liverpool.
Why not? I feel like you're digressing a lot. This topic arose from the fact that Liverpool played Chelsea. Yes. I feel like before we go into the fixture position, let's dissect.
No, 100%. We can do that. So, but the point that I wanted to, the reason for me not wanting to dwell too much on the Liverpool game, is based on what we discussed in the previous show, right? The fact that Liverpool is Liverpool. They don't really have much to play for right now. You guys have a lot to play for.
But then even more
we cannot necessarily take what happened in the Liverpool game to say it is a good way to go into the Newcastle game. I think I would like us to talk about other fixtures before that as well.
I don't want to fool myself and say that.
Yes.
Beating Liverpool 3-1.
Correct.
It's an automatic win for Newcastle. That's going to be a difficult game.
It's going to be a very tough game.
We might win, we might lose, we might draw.
100%.
Anything can happen. But I like how our midfield looked in that Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Lavia and Caicedo.
Solid.
Enzo going forward, best I've seen him. I mean, do you know he has 20 goals and assists this season? Enzo Fernandez, no competitions.
Interesting.
Crazy, 20 XGA.
I think you were celebrating his divorce at some point. It's on record. You were celebrating his divorce. You were saying that hopefully it's gonna bring the fire and the anger in Enzo. And I'm guessing these numbers that you just spitted, they're actually testament to that.
Kato, I am a Christian, God-fearing man. As I believe, don't ever associate me with celebrating divorce.
You guys can watch the episode. I remember precisely him sitting here talking about Enzo's divorce.
I was celebrating I was celebrating Enzo
Look at your
Fernandez.
smile. Look at your smile.
I was celebrating Enzo Fernandez's form. And Enzo, keep it up. Lovely form.
He mustn't rekindle with his wife.
Go rekindle things with your wife. Don't be Pep Guardiola. Football is not forever.
This guy.
But if you're not happy, my guy, don't force things.
You think that was affecting his football as well?
Who knows? Maybe,
I told you. You must go watch that episode.
No, I'm saying who knows. We were not there. Maybe when he goes to training, they're shouting at him, why are you going to training? And then he doesn't train well or something. Who knows? But they can fix it with. But she needs to give him whatever he's been getting now. She needs to make sure that continues. But I'm not opposed to it. But yeah, Liverpool, Chelsea, I don't take too much from it. I gloat to you in the fact that I gave you guys your guard of honor. Well done, congratulations.
And then
congratulated
you to give us a hiding.
Congratulations, my guy.
And getting 3 points.
And then we spanked that ass. We spanked that ass. He called us daddy. But yeah, it's okay. Happy Enzo. What can I say? Palma
scores. When last did he score?
You know, he hadn't scored since January, I think. Something crazy like that. Oh, he had scored 3 goals this year. I think it was 3 goals in 2025. But my boy back, cold.
All right.
Congratulations to you guys. It's unfortunate, not much noise is being made about it. It sucks when a fugazi conversation like 100 men, this one gorilla trains harder than Liverpool winning that 20th Premier League title.
I would not expect any other comment from you, Mario. Arsenal 1-2 Bournemouth. For some reason, I don't write off Arsenal finishing fourth. At best.
Fourth.
At best.
They're very fortunate they're playing Southampton.
Given how...
If they were not playing Southampton and Chelsea and Newcastle are playing each other, so points will have to be dropped. If not for that fact, Arsenal could have finished 6th outside of
Arsenal play Liverpool.
They play Liverpool,
they play Newcastle
and
they're Southampton.
Fortunate to play
that is why I'm saying I do not write them off finishing fourth.
No, fourth they can definitely finish because if they beat Southampton, finish on 70 points. Chelsea, I guess the maximum points Chelsea can finish on is 92 points. Maximum Newcastle can finish on is 92. But if they lose to Chelsea,
how are you getting to 92 points?
I mean 72, sorry.
Hey, my
Where
guy.
did I get 92?
My guy.
72. 9 plus 63.
Yeah, so Arsenal, the next 2 fixtures are not...
They're crucial, but just due to how everything is structured, I think they've already qualified for the Champions League.
You reckon? I don't think so. I don't know which numbers you're calculating because think about this, right?
Okay,
Aston Villa, the maximum points that they can get is 69. Arsenal is on 67. There's not a chance. If Aston Villa wins all their games, if Arsenal loses all their games and all other teams ahead of them.
Okay, let's look at this. Okay, if Chelsea... Okay, yeah, right.
It's not
if
guaranteed.
Chelsea, but this is what has to happen. Chelsea and Newcastle have to draw, and we get onto 64 points. And then Chelsea have to win their next 2 games, but then they can't because they play Nottingham. That's where I got it. Chelsea play Forest and Newcastle United. You see these 3, they play these 2.
Yeah.
So the points that will have to be dropped here automatically somehow will result, because if Chelsea draw twice and win once, that's 68. If Nottingham Forest draw once and win twice, how much is that? 7 points on to 60. How much? 61. 68. So they could, but it would have to be like a miracle from God.
I think they said Arsenal still needs to win a game in order to guarantee.
A draw would
maybe a draw, but they're not yet safe. They're not yet safe to finish.
1 point gets them into the Champions League. As much as I want them to finish 6th, I say to you, I would not expect any other gifts from God this year if Arsenal finish 6th. Or heavenly omnipotent Father. Please hear me. If Arsenal finish 6th,
Mario, I don't see how you're getting your maths, because think about this, right?
No, but like
Aston Villa does not play Chelsea. It does not play any of the teams that it's competing with going forward, right? Say
but
they
Nottingham
win.
Forest.
No. Let's start with Aston Villa.
Okay.
Aston Villa does not play any of the teams that they're competing. If they win all their games, and this is the last team that can possibly finish second. I'm talking about second. Maximum points, 69 points.
Villa.
So Villa, we are already saying if Villa wins everything, top 2 is occupied.
But actually you're right. The one that would lose out is Nottingham Forest, because they're the ones that are sitting on 6. So Villa can push Forest out because of the conflicting games.
We look at Man City. Man City also doesn't play any of the top.
So Man
City in 3. And then there's Newcastle that still plays Arsenal. There's something there.
Let's say they beat Arsenal.
Say they beat Arsenal, they're in, most likely.
No, if they beat Arsenal.
And they beat Chelsea.
Let's say they beat Arsenal and beat Everton. That's 6 points. That's enough to get them in, because they're on 63, right? So 6 points will put them on 69. Arsenal is on 67. That puts them in. They don't even have to win against Chelsea.
Because Newcastle. Guys, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. Arsenal could fall off.
Arsenal could not qualify for the Champions League.
You know, the running is so crazy, right? From 7th position to 2nd position, every game from now on is a must win.
This is a cup final. Basically.
It's a cup final. That's what makes this chase for Champions League the craziest.
Actually,
to make things worse, there's Man United. There's Man United as well.
I had counted Aston Villa out. I think that was the problem. I didn't consider them. But if Aston Villa is an automatic in, and Chelsea just need to draw against these two and beat,
and City is also going as an automatic,
or they just need to beat one of these two and beat Manchester United, they'll be fine.
It's tough. It's going to be exciting. I don't know where Arsenal fans.
I feel like Chelsea have the hardest games, and then Arsenal after us. But then Man United is not difficult, I guess. And then Newcastle and Nottingham Forest have both the same as much as we have to lose. So it's difficult for us as it is for them.
Those numbers are quite interesting, and we're going to talk about this, I think, for the remainder of the season. And I look forward to the weekends. Crystal Palace, Nottingham. Let's conclude with this one. We saw Eze scoring a penalty there, and Nottingham equalizing with Murillo.
And they should not have equalized. They should have just lost. And he got injured.
He got injured. There's a triangle, but I don't know if he had any of the assets that earned. I got Eze. I got some good points. I think he's the reason why I finished above average. Had it not been for that penalty. But any output from that game?
1-1. It wasn't that exciting. Crystal Palace are not coming on as strong as I had hoped, as I had anticipated. Nottingham Forest, like we've said for the last couple of weeks, they've fallen off. They're sitting on, is it 6th now?
Nottingham, they are sitting on 6th position.
After being, second for a very long time.
Almost half,
and then
majority
third for
of the season.
A very long time after Arsenal passed them, I think, halfway through the season. So, I mean...
their downfall started with Villa. They lost 2-1 to Villa. They went on to lose against Everton. They lost against Brentford, and they're dropping points against Palace. They're dropping points at the wrong time.
Very wrong time. But what do you call that? Slovo said about the Barcelona game yesterday. Why didn't they just go for the corner? And sometimes then he said it was experience, lack of experience. This will make them a better team, I guess.
It does.
The experience will help.
Yes, but
I don't think they'll have this. They'll get this chance
again. That's the thing.
I mean, but we said this about Aston Villa, who don't have much funding either. But then they have good owners who do spend.
And they have a good manager.
And they have a good manager.
Well-experienced manager, I'd say.
They keep on fighting to be in and around there, because they were in the Champions League. They made it pretty far this season. Top 4 last year.
Quarterfinals.
They might finish top 4 again this year. Who would have got back-to-back top 4 for Aston Villa?
They have the quality. I believe they have the quality.
And they've reinforced.
Unai is getting more time. The guys are developing chemistry. Aston Villa excites me. I won't lie. When I watch this Villa side,
Even though Asensio and Rashford have kind of cooled for a little bit.
But you see some players coming in. I mean, the likes of Marlon.
Watkins tried to revive his form.
Is also trying to come in.
A nice goal, though, I think, the last game week.
All right. We shall see how this ends. But Mario, I think those were the standout fixtures that I had. Anything around that, really, I don't think. There's nothing much. United, they
not worth discussing.
I didn't say that, but yeah, man. Brentford 4-3 against United.
Brentford is in some hot form, though.
They're cooking. Mbeumo with an assist there.
And they have very good fixtures as well, I think.
Exactly.
So, I mean, look out for Brentford.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They play Ipswich next, I mean.
That says it. There are goals there. There are goals for sure.
I mean, captain choices is going to be a headache. Is Haaland back? I don't see a triangle on him.
All right, so Mario, let's move on.
What's happening with Haaland?
Green, red arrows.
But I told you, Mus.
Green, red arrows are below average now. So what does that mean? All right, only red and
we can discuss how
average.
How you green red arrows, Katu?
I do have some greens.
Okay, that's nice.
I do have some greens.
That's nice.
You did hear that I have some greens?
Do you?
I do have some greens. But yeah, I scored 44 points. Having captained Salah, who gave us 4 points. You captained Saka, who gave you 4 points, and you scored 36 points. So I think the average is 41. So you're just like 5 points shy.
Jump ship if you have any Arsenal.
Yeah. Now it's time to really drop
You'll see them in the final game week when they play Southampton and then they want to. Then they go in 4-0 and then all the Arsenal fans come out like they won a trophy.
Shots fired, but. Yeah, man, that's how things stand between our personal battle. Mario is still convinced that the bet that we made between the two of us is gonna. I do have a chip.
A triple captain.
I have a triple captain. Yeah, man. So Mario and I made a bet that he says he's gonna finish ahead of me. I said I'm going to finish ahead of him. So we shall see.
We should have given me a handicap on that bet, though. How do we make a bet where you start 40 points ahead of me?
It's too late, my guy. It's too late. You should have thought about that. But standout players, Shade from Brentford. He's the standout. He's voted king of the game week with 14 points.
And it's not his first double digit.
And it's not actually.
It's good player.
Good player. 2 goals scored. 5.1 million market value, owned by 1.2% of managers. So kudos to those managers that managed to get those points there. Garnacho just pops up into this list.
Is it?
Yeah, it comes up there with a goal and assist. 12 points, 5.9 million, 4.8% of managers. I'm sure these are all United fans.
Yeah, 4.8%. 4.8% of lunatics.
And KDB, 11 points there. 1 goal scored. Also kept a clean sheet. City, 9.5 million. 10.3%. So I guess you're one of the few that managed to bring in KDB there, Mario. And as I said earlier, KDB is currently leading at the time of recording right now. KDB is one of the most transferred in players, followed by Guardiol. I have Guardiol. He's been returning handsomely. I think I've had him for quite some time.
He's one of the players that did a lot of damage for me against you
last season. And you seem you don't have him.
I haven't had him since I transferred him out when Man City were conceding left, right, and centre.
His current
now
form.
It's like on four game winning streak or something.
It's 4.0. That's his form.
How many
he scored 8 points this past game week. The game week before the last one, he scored 6 points. The game week before the last one, he scored 9 points. The game week against Leicester, 6 points. So he's been cooking. So,
but with me, I was hitting those 19 too. Remember when he got 21 points?
Because he was a defender, scoring goals and
assists. When he got 21 points.
I was killing. But that was Hot City. That was Hot City.
That's when I finished you off. You and Dixon.
You did, Awanla. You did, and you did it at the worst time where there's no time to come back. But yeah, Mario, those are the standout players that we have this game week. But I also just wanted to finish up the list of the most transferred in players. We see Wissa also coming in there. Mbuemo, as we said, Brentford plays Ipswich, and we see Ipswich ships in quite some goals. Yeah. So those guys are also going to be coming in. Chris Wood is coming into the picture as the 5th most transferred in player.
Yeah, they play Nottingham Forest have nice fixture against Leicester.
And they have West Ham and they have Chelsea at the end.
2 nice fixtures. West Ham haven't even been in the best of form, struggling to even beat the likes of Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Speaking of dropping all Arsenal assets, Saka is leading that pack.
Ah, no, I took him out long
time ago. So Saka is the most transferred out player, followed by Mohamed Salah. Is that a surprise?
Yeah, it's not really, because
I think it is.
They're seeing that Liverpool have won the league, so a lot of people are anticipating that he might not.
No, he will get time.
No, he's definitely
goals,
because not just the goals, but the 2020,
the 20
goal 10 years
correct.
Real has managed to attain. But I think he'll play.
He is gonna play.
I think he will return. It's not surprising what's happening. I anticipated it, but I wouldn't personally sell him.
Yeah, hundreds. And then I see Mateta also. Mateta is being shipped out. Let's see, how are the Newcastle fixtures? They have Tottenham. I mean, Tottenham ships in goals, a lot of goals.
Yeah, Tottenham.
Maybe not Wolves. I don't know about Liverpool also on the last game.
On the last day, but they're at home, so Liverpool would have raised the trophy the previous weekend. So
also, he could score. I mean, it's fixture proof. It's not like we keep clean sheets as well.
Yeah, it's not like you guys have managed to keep any clean sheets.
So Mateta is there, number 3. Jacob Murphy, I think his time is also done, in my opinion.
Yeah, Newcastle have difficult.
They have Chelsea, they have Arsenal, and then they have Everton, a stubborn Everton. Defensively, Moyes has done some incredible work.
He's done very good work this second coming.
All right. And to finalize that, Luis Diaz finishes off that list of the most sold out players. Mario, we are coming to the end of the season. I don't know if you have any interesting numbers. Maybe you can do a segment on the stats of the season. Probably the best, most points scored, assists scored, most voted.
On the last show of the season,
we can wrap up those numbers now.
We can put together team of the season.
Yeah, exactly, team of the season as well.
Mine versus cut.
Mine versus hundreds. I think that should be quite exciting. And then chip strategies. We see this was a very bland game week. I would agree. I don't know. I was saying to you that I never made a transfer. Did you make any transfers? Yeah, I think we also had a chat with Tiamo that it was one of those game weeks where honestly there was just not enough numbers to maybe justify.
The fixtures were not even great.
The fixtures were not great.
So I mean,
and you'd just be thumb sucking if you were doing anything. So
I wanted to bring in either Mbuemo or Wissa. But like I told you that I missed the deadline. But it was on Friday. I'm sitting on the couch watching the game, and that's when it smacks me in the face that I'm watching a Premier League game and I haven't managed my team.
And you're a content producer for the show, and you do the numbers. And we speak of shaky warriors.
You guys are putting
you're
being
a shaky warrior.
Mario,
come on, man.
Just putting anyone
on
the podcast. I mean, I blame work.
Yeah, no.
Work is getting in the way of my FPL.
Hey man, our followers, our listeners, they can't take that. We can't accept that. Guys, reprimand Mario. I'll reprimand him as well. But we're in game week 36, Mario. All chip strategies are saying this is the best time to play triple captain. I don't know, and I'm saying I don't know because I haven't looked at my team yet. I'm gonna wait for obviously tonight and then start looking into my team, building it through into the weekend, deciding on who to captain because that's the most important thing. When you identify who to captain, that's when you can decide to pull the trigger.
But I mean, looking at the fixtures, I don't know if you'll get better players playing better fixtures from now till the end of the season.
Yes.
That's my issue. That's my worry when it comes to captaining. There's no Arsenal player I would really want to use.
Who stands out? Salah is also not necessarily the best to stand out. There's no Haaland.
What sticks up to me is like De Bruyne now would be like a heavy differential with Southampton. I mean, that if De Bruyne does what I think he might do
against Southampton.
But yeah,
Mario is hinting, but he's gonna tell us more when we get to the captain choices there.
And then what other fixture interests me?
I mean, Norton goes to Leicester. And Wood is one of the most transferred in, number 5.
I don't know if I would use a triple captain on him, but I would bring in maybe Ilanga or Wood because they play well. But Ipswich plays Brentford. What I think Brentford is going to do to that team, I believe they're going to be manhandled. Manhandled.
And they play quite attacking football.
It's giving me that Leicester 9, Southampton 0 feeling for some reason. The way Brentford have been ruthless the last 2-3 games. So captain choices for me is sitting between there, but we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there.
If you're not from South Africa, this whistle means
something is cooking.
Something is cooking. If you must watch the Premier Soccer League in South Africa, you know. Number 10 is happening. The things are happening. All right, Mario. Chip strategies. If you were watching our chip strategy shows, triple captain. But like Mario said, it's really tough. I mean, for some of us who held on to our triple captains, I don't really know who I'm gonna captain. Triple captain on because all the top scorers, the big numbers, double digits. It's gonna be a tough one. I mean, if 11 points is what your player scores.
Double digits are there, my guy.
Double digits are there, but they're difficult to identify.
Exactly.
Yes, they're going to be difficult to identify.
Hence, fixtures like Man City in the form they're in versus Southampton and Brentford
against Leicester.
Against Ipswich.
Against Ipswich,
look so attractive to anyone.
Who's playing Leicester?
Nottingham Forest, but I don't feel confident triple captaining any Forest player. So for me, I know Bola, Wisa, Mbwemu, ballers. De Bruyne, baller.
All right, it's going to be a tough one. Exciting. Upcoming fixtures, Mario. We've already spoken about Southampton and Man City. We have Ipswich and Brentford, Nottingham against Leicester. There's Newcastle against Chelsea as well. And then there's Liverpool versus Arsenal.
I think Newcastle Chelsea will be a barn burner. It might be 2-2, 3-2, 3-1, either way.
Yeah. Newcastle has goals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 3-1 either way. Chelsea has goals.
Chelsea seem to be getting back their goals.
Chelsea have goals. They just concede too much. But yeah, I like how they're looking now. Towards the end of the season, I rather have them looking like this than have them looking like what they
mid-season
a month ago. At least now we've got 3 wins on the trot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go into that game cautiously optimistic. But yeah, Brentford is probably gonna mess Ipswich up. Nottingham Forest is probably gonna mess Leicester up. I don't wanna lie. But it's just about identifying.
I mean, you've seen the likes of Schade coming in from Brentford.
No, Brentford, I know. Schade, I like him, cheap, whatever, but this is not the time for cheap assets.
Yeah, you go for the tested and proven.
Go for the premium. If you want the Brentford points, go for the premium.
Yeah.
Because Schade eats the scraps of, he's a good player, young, exciting, dynamic. But he knows in that team, if there's an opportunity, it's Wisa and
I mean, Mbeumo's on penalties as well.
And he eats off the scraps
and you might find a lot of those.
So, and he's eating off the scraps for those two. So, I mean, those are those who I wouldn't triple captain or captain Schade. I like him.
Yeah.
If you have an extra space, you could bring him in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't triple captain him. Nottingham Forest, obviously, Ilanga has done a lot for me this season. I trust him in that team.
And I reward him with that loyalty.
And then Chris Wood as well. Yeah, I'm sure he'll want to add on to those goals. Maybe try and reach 20 before the season is up.
Maybe save Nottingham.
Yeah. Because it seems like things have been bad since he
left. Yeah.
So who knows? This might be the Revival the second. I was about to say it again. But and then Man City, Southampton.
Most of us have. I've tripled up on Man City.
Long game.
I think it's gonna be a very
very long game for them. So yeah.
All right, you heard, and then captaincy. You already hinted the likes of KDB.
KDB is a man on a mission. He's putting his name in the hat for any teams that want a big star with experience, who might not have a lot of miles in the tank.
Speaking of that, where do you think he's gonna go?
It sounds like he wants to play at the top level.
Aston Villa.
If I was,
do Aston Villa need a KDB there? Who's there? McGinn.
There's McGinn. There's Yuri Telemann.
There's Ramsey.
There's Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey. There's
Rogers.
There's Asensio, who just got there. There's a lot of attacking talent and young ones that you obviously.
Because Villa looks like an exciting side, man. If I'm KDB, if I was to look at any other team that necessarily doesn't have that big status like United, Liverpool, I don't think those teams are gonna go for KDB.
Yeah.
But
I don't
Aston
think
Villa,
because also his wages are obviously up there, so it'll be difficult for Villa to sign him.
So you think he's gonna leave the Premier League?
I think he might, because I don't think Chelsea will sign him.
But where is he gonna go?
I don't think
Bayern.
He might go Bayern.
Because
PSG.
he was at Wolfsburg before he came to City.
Yeah.
He was coming from Wolfsburg.
I think maybe Bayern, PSG, so an option. Maybe.
Yeah, but Bayern is going to become a retirement village. Why would Bayern be doing that? Why would Bayern start becoming a retirement village?
What can you do? But they have nice young players. They have Kimmich there, but Kimmich is old now, 27.
Yeah, I don't know. Kimmich is no longer young.
But Musiala,
yes, but he doesn't play like KDB. He's not necessarily, because a KDB, for me, what KDB, he's the one that is the pass to Musiala, maybe.
And you thinking about KDB now? We're talking about original Kevin De Bruyne.
No, but he's not. This is not what they're getting. This is not what they're getting.
Smashing them from outside the ball.
Exactly.
Getting on the end of clearances, half volleys.
Putting the ball right here.
Putting the ball like he's the final pass in front of the net.
Yes.
That's what Musiala is.
Yes.
So skilled. He used to be so he's not as skillful as Musiala
as well.
But he could body fade. Could beat his man.
But this is not what they're getting. They're not getting that KDB. They're getting a tired KDB. A KDB that needs to preserve his energy. A KDB who's probably also injury prone.
Yeah, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? So if I'm a Bayern Munich, why would I go for a guy?
They'll just be paying wages.
They play very fast football there. Unless
you can't replace
company has changed that.
KDB.
Yeah.
Not replace him permanently, but even just mess up his energy.
Getafe maybe? They seem to be rebuilding there. Getafe in Spain, La Liga.
Come on.
Isco is there. Mara Isco is doing great there.
They can't afford this man's
the wage.
And that's not. I don't think that's the top level KDB is talking about. I think if he's to remain in the top 5 leagues, probably be a team that's playing Champions League. Probably. I don't think he'll go to a team that's not playing the Champions League. That's just my opinion.
I think if Aston Villa gets into the Champions League, they'll make a plan.
If it's not that, if he can't get one of those kind of teams, then he's probably definitely going to Saudi.
Yeah. All right, Mario. You guys heard. The future of KDB, but as well as possible captain choices going into game week 36.
KDB,
Boyama,
Wisa.
Those
are the 3. Probably it's on KDB right
Kopama.
now.
Isak
against each other, they're probably gonna score points. I don't know, maybe I would fancy Isak a little bit more because he's had a bit more consistent form. Palmer is just getting back into it. Palmer, in terms of his play, involved in almost every single goal. He's either the pass or the pass before the pass. Just not scoring. He's still very influential. Still very, very, very brilliant. You saw that goal he nearly scored against Allison. You remember, you saw that
the one where the keeper thought he's gonna cross it, and then he hits it, and it hits the pole.
if he just does that with the outside of his left foot, it's a goal, and we're talking about it.
So we're saying what? Palmer is also potential for
differential for him and Isak, definitely.
All right, cool. I don't know if you've set your team up for our technical guys to put it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys.
You'll send it. Do you want to maybe talk through what you have right now? Or we can just put it as it is.
Yeah.
Before the tweak, basically. So we're just going to put both our teams up. As I said, on my side, I'm still going to watch tonight's game against Arsenal. Not to say that I'm looking at any Arsenal assets,
because I'm contemplating playing a wild card. So
yeah.
I'll see.
All right. You guys will see our teams. Probably they'll be coming up now. This side, that side, Mario. Which one? This side, yours? Yeah, that's Mario's team there. That's my team there.
Either way.
Yeah, somewhere there. All right. In between. Yeah, in between maybe. But anyway, you guys will see it. It will come up on the screen. Our technical guys know how to do fancy things there. So they'll probably have both of them up as I'm speaking right now, most likely. I don't know. But yeah, man, I think let's look into the mini league. Interestingly enough, I mean, this game week scoring says it all. I looked at our mini league. I think the whole top 10 didn't move. I think it's the first time we see that. Okay. Only the top 9. The top 9 did not move. That's insane. It shows the type of a game week it was.
Crazy. Actually, I sent Kyle. What's up, Kyle?
Shout out, Kyle.
That snippet of the podcast wedding, and invited us to his what does he call it?
As Mario is going through the messages there from one of our biggest supporters, loyal supporters, Carl. Shelby Company currently sitting third, scored 42 points on 233.
It says 24th of May is his stag, so that's his bachelor party, right?
24th
of May.
24th of May.
His stag is
what is the message? Say it on the show. Say on the show.
If we are free, we must pull out. We're going to go do a bachelor party.
24th of May. That's a Saturday.
We're going to go do a bachelor party podcast there with Kyle.
Are we flying out? Are we flying down to Cape Town on the 23rd?
Why not? On Gaming 39.
Yeah.
On that billing.
Hey, Kyle, look out for us.
Yeah, look out
if you guys want us to go
fund me.
Comments. No, comments. Comments. No. Comments. Comments. If you guys can I think if we can just see the numbers there saying we must go, we're definitely gonna catch that flight. How many numbers? Or rather, how many likes to this video? How many likes? I think if you guys can give us
40 likes.
40 likes.
I think that's
actually, let's make it like close of a rounded number. 50 likes.
All right.
Yeah, if you guys can give us 50 likes for this show. Just this show. Obviously, you're a follower and a subscriber. You've hit the bell. We are flying down to Cape Town. I don't care what is happening. The 23rd on my calendar the 24th is clear. But if we get those 50 likes on this video, we're flying down. Mario and I, both of us, we're going to be recording that side.
You'll see the green Gaming 39 flags.
Yeah, and we'll send you all the content that will come out from that bachelor party there. But as I said, Mario, Kyle is third. And then on top of him is Petro, sitting on 2,345 points. And then we have JP, who's leading, 2,366 points. So JP is going to do a back-to-back for the very first time. Shout out
JP.
Shout out JP. You're killing it, bro. You're killing it. But yeah, that's how the mini league stands. Yeah, man. I think a reminder to all the managers that the deadline is actually this Saturday, the 10th of May. Can you believe the season is almost over?
Yo, dude.
May is over. May is the end of all the leagues. Crazy. May is Champions League final. Crazy. May is everything. It's the end, and then 2 months of no football. And there's no competition this year.
There is.
What competition is it?
Club World Cup.
FIFA Club World Cup in the USA, yes.
For the whole of June, we're going to have football.
Okay, all right.
And we're going to be here giving you guys, but not as often as we are now, but we'll be here giving you guys some play-by-plays, comments on what we think. So keep your eyes out for those episodes.
Yeah, must check us on the socials. We'll be catching you guys on the socials there. But Mario, I was saying managers must remember that the deadline is Saturday. Set those teams. They mustn't repeat what Mario did this past game week. Set those teams. Make sure your bench is sorted. We're in the run-in. The run-in in the Premier League, the run-in in the mini leagues, you know. So if you're trying to catch up right now, if you are, you know, trying to beat that competitor, the betting is there. Now the withdrawals are starting to happen. So make sure that you guys finish strong because, yeah, man, nobody remembers anyone who finishes outside of the top 3, by the way. So game week 36 deadline. But as we come to a conclusion, I mean, many thanks to our listeners, to our viewers. We said we're going to bring in YouTube this season. We brought in YouTube.
Yeah, and we did. We fought. Tired.
We're making it happen regardless.
Late, cold,
you
wet,
know what I'm saying?
rain,
you know,
sunshine.
sick or not, you know. We're here. So we brought it to you for you guys, and yeah, man, we really appreciate the support, and we are definitely planning on scaling, making it better. As I say, we have a great team behind us that is doing all these things and bringing it as you guys like it on your couch. So yeah, man, highly appreciate it. We are trying to get into 100 subscribers, right? So please help us get to those numbers. We are currently sitting on 91. We're currently sitting on 91. So we just need 9. So even I think if we can even get to 110 subscribers, we can fly to Cape Town. 50 for this likes for this show, we're flying down to Cape Town.
One of either or. So we really appreciate this support that you guys have been showing us. I mean, 91 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. That is wild, man. Yeah, there's 91 people that are literally getting value from what we're doing. So that is everything. Go to 91,000 this time next year.
You know what I mean? It doesn't take much. You know, it just takes the support. From
like the Joker says, all it takes is just a little push.
Exactly.
Just a little push.
And then the snowflake effect happens. Snowball. All right, cool. Mario, do you want to close for us?
Yeah, shout out to Pirates beating Kaizer Chiefs over the weekend.
I mean, but
I could not
wait.
We're gonna still go to Durban.
I was about to say, were you expecting a different result?
No, of course not.
All right. Are you expecting a different result in Durban?
No, I know my Cocomelon boys.
Hey, so it's gonna be happening.
They'll be putting them on a scooter.
Yeah,
like they did this first weekend. You saw my boys. You saw those Cocomelons, the king of the 2000.
They know what.
President Yama 2000.
Yeah, so yeah, man.
My boys. But shout out Bagania, and other than that, 3 game weeks to go. Keep your eyes on the screen. Keep your eyes on your phone. When the notification bell comes up, don't just clear it. Go into the app and don't forget to change your teams like I did. And remember, like I always say, men lie, women lie, but numbers never lie, baby.
Numbers never lie. From us, we are out. We shall catch you guys in the next episode. Cheers.
Peace.